Okay, we move into now the area of accreditation standards that have to do with program accreditation. So the first were institutional, what we are as an institution, some of the nuts and bolts in place, in a sense, the hardware of an institution. Now we move into the software, which is actually the programs, what we actually deliver in terms of our programs. So the first standard here, and our favorite one, I don't know, pretty close.
It definitely was up there.
Yeah, is about holistic integration.
Now, holism relates to all of the pieces being in place in education, and integration relates to how they connect to each other. So you can have all of the pieces but not have them properly connected together, and vice versa. So in that regard, there are four major components of what we have identified as the pieces or the parts of theological education that need to be there.
Yeah, we could really get going on this. So much has been written, and we've written some as well on the issue of fragmentation in theological education. This is part of it, but fragmentation can take many forms, one of which is to actually select only some components of theological education and privilege those over against others. And in particular, accreditation and credit counting can privilege the academic achievement and the practical training in a theological college over and against the spiritual formation and the character education components. So what we're trying to do in formulating this standard is to move us all as theological educators to an integration of these four components where they're carrying equal weight and value in what we're doing as theological educators. So the academic achievement, that's quite obvious. We know what that's about, and we want to do that to the best in higher education standards as well, in our own context and country, so to provide high quality academic training to our students. But we also want to provide, well, you talk about practical training and spiritual formation, I'll do character education. That's my favorite.
Okay, sure. We do want to produce, quote unquote, graduates who are going out into ministry vocational roles and to be effective in those roles. So the practical vocational aspect of theological education is so key. And this is the hands part of theological education, if the academic is the head part.
You're not going to do the heart part now, are you?
Go ahead, you can do the heart part.
No. Spiritual formation. You're the spiritual formation.
Right.
We need Graham Cheeseman for this one.
Yes, indeed.
Graham, join us.
Spiritual formation, of course, the spiritual disciplines, the vertical, so to speak, relationship with God of the student, and the cultivation of that relationship that will be ongoing in life and ministry, so that this person is not simply someone who is competent in practical ministry, but someone who has character that he or she is going to, in terms of the spiritual disciplines, in terms of prayer, in terms of personal witness, in terms of contact and connection with the Word of God.
Yeah, knowing God and enjoying Him forever. Yes. Did you say that?
No, that's somebody in 1648 that said that.
Right. So the final one, so academic achievement, practical training, spiritual formation, character education, probably the Cinderella of the four. We obviously feel this is very important in our students. It's often quite a challenge to bring it back to the forefront of what we're doing in actually designing our programs.
How would you distinguish between character education and spiritual formation?
I think again, they can overlap. They can be used oftentimes as synonyms. And maybe it may be useful to use them as the same word, but I think as we're trying to unpack different emphases, it's also useful to pull them apart. It's sort of like if you're talking about a good glass of wine, you can just say, this is wine. But you can say, but there's water in it, there's sugar in it, there's different components. And so to unpack it, you can then understand how to improve the quality of what you're drinking.
Good illustration here in Italy.
Yeah, well, of course, yeah.
In France also, by the way.
So character education, I think, whereas spiritual formation has to do with the issues that you've mentioned about the spiritual disciplines, about prayer, about this sort of vertical relationship with God, with mystery, with discernment. Character education has to do specifically with virtues. It has to do with developing virtue in the life of graduates, as well as cultivating virtue in the community of the learning community that we're part of. So So don't get me going, or I'm going to go way beyond the time of this video.
Well, by the way, Marvin will be writing a book during his sabbatical that's coming up very soon. So in a few months, look for that book to come out and to inform your understanding and my understanding of character education.
That's free advertising?
That was, yes.
And if people watch this video 5 years from now, the book will probably be published already.
Sooner, I hope.
Okay, anyhow. So this is standard number B1, we've called it. The first standard in the area of program accreditation, holistic integration.